Grace and peace, and welcome to this episode of the Girl Dadding Podcast. I am Marcel, and in a few seconds, you're going to hear me, my two daughters, Kanaya and Kiani, go into more detail about the intimate friendship that has blossomed within their sisterhood. I marvel at how close they are as friends and how much joy and fulfillment they derive from their friendship. Time now for you to hear some of the ingredients in their secret sauce. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed the episode.
What's it like having Kiani as a friend? Because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing, you don't choose your family, so you all had no choice in being sisters, but we all choose our friends. And one of the things that I've said in the years past about both my sisters, but particularly my older sister, is they are good friends of mine. I share things with them because I want to. I share things with them because I value their input. I value their opinion. And I'm grateful that I can count my sisters as two of my closest friends. So I want both of you to talk about what it's like. Let's start with Kiani, since she's the younger one. What's it like having your older sister to also be your friend?
Man, it's a breath of fresh air. I mean, because I have a lot of friends that aren't particularly as close as their siblings as we are. I mean, like people,
Same.
kind of like distant cousins, like, yeah, they my sibling, but that wasn't my choice. But like, I brag about you all the time. Like, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have a sister who I treat like a friend who doesn't mind being my friend. Like, I mean, like I still get on her nerves, but there are things that I can tell Naya that she really has sound advice on.
But let's be clear, friends get on each other's nerves, so that's not necessarily a sister thing.
Yeah, of course. To that, like, she can't get rid of me. So, like, what I mean?
Touche.
Yeah. So, but you just offer a side of a new avenue of friendship that, one, because you're older, but two, because with us being the same family, we share similar experiences, and you offer just a new perspective of things that I generally sometimes just don't even think about. And also, that also kind of stems from how we grew up and you taking us everywhere together. Like, for example, when you referee basketball games, like, we go together, and your emphasis is always for us to stay together. So, like, kind of how, like, in a lot of ways, when you're younger, like, you have a buddy, like in school, like, don't
buddy
leave your buddy, hold your buddy's hand, don't let your buddy do this. Like, she's my built-in buddy. So, and like, now that we don't live at home together, granted, we can't do everything together, but like, when you are at home, like, I have to go to the store. Naya also has to go to the store, because even though I didn't need anything from the store, Naya has to go to the store. When Naya goes to get food, I'm not gonna say I'm not hungry, because I'm always hungry. But like, when you go to get food, I'm going with Naya to get food. Why? Because Naya is driving. I want to be in your car. So having that built-in buddy is just amazing, because I can, like, when I have no one else to turn to, and when I don't want to turn to my parents, I have you.
Kanaya, what's it like having Kiani as a friend?
I think that it's great. I think there used to be this show on Disney called Liv and Maddie, and they were twins, and they had a saying that went sisters by chance, friends by choice. And I think we definitely embody that. Because I have friends as well who have siblings that they're just kind of like, we're related, but we didn't grow up together, so we don't really have that type of relationship. It's fun because Kiani's younger than me. And so I think that I envy the joy that she kind of has when she goes about life, because it's just kind of like, I don't have to have this figured out, because somebody's going to know the right answer and they're going to tell me. I don't necessarily have that be built in. And so the way she's just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna go do what I want to do because I want to do it, and I get to do that. I'm just like, dang, like, I want to do that. I don't get to do that. Like, I have to sit and say, okay, if this decision don't work, what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
If this thing don't happen, what we gonna do about this right here? And so we have a lot of fun together. I think it lets me know I'm doing a decent job, I think, of being a big sister. I think I didn't understand, I didn't value it much until I left home, because I'm like, we see each other every day. And I left home right out of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we were literally at the crib every day. And so it was just like, bro, okay, like, I get it. I love y'all, but I need something else. I need something else.
So talk about, Kanaya, the dynamic that existed between the two of you during the pandemic, particularly those nights when she was on the phone with friends, you're trying to get some sleep, and she and her friends, quiet. They were yapping.
Man.
Yapping, man. I mean, just going. Just like, okay. Some nights I would be like, okay, Lord, I just want to lay down and watch the television. They want to talk and have a good time. But that's one of the things that Kiani gonna figure out how to have a good time. And that, like I was just saying, is something that I wish I did better at, because I feel like I'm always the person trying to be responsible. Like, do this make sense? Is it safe? Like, all of those things.
And I like that about you. And that doesn't mean I don't like Kiani's adventuresomeness. I just made up a word. But I like you are more calculating, that you are more reserved. Maybe I like it because that's kind of how I am.
Not kind of.
But I appreciate that, and that doesn't mean Kiani doesn't take those factors into consideration. What Kiani may think about once, you're going to think about 3 or 4 times. That's the difference. Neither one of you is flying blind by the seat of your pants. She's simply quicker to pull the trigger, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from, I'm the person that's supposed to make sure the safety is on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that. So when I go out into any situation, I'm always, okay, how did this person move? What kind of situation is this? And then a lot of times, even now when we go places, I don't go the same places when Kiani's with me. Just like, if she were to come visit me at school, I'm not gonna go party, because I can't bring her. Like, I don't feel like that's a place for her to be. That is, so I'm always the person that's like, she wants to have a good time. Is this the environment where I'm comfortable and she's comfortable with her being able to do that? Mm-hmm. So, in the pandemic, it was just kind of like, okay, this child wants to talk on the phone like all day. And I think it was amplified because it was just like, you having a good time. I'm trying to figure out, am I going to college? Because are we leaving the house for me to go to school? Where am I going to school? I'm looking like my senior year is down the drain. And you just...
I just wanted to play Roblox. I mean, it was...
Yeah, she just like, man, we just in here. Like,
I had a good time.
Having a good time. We'll be outside when you say we come outside. But just always being in those different places of life, it definitely keeps us balanced. Being a big sister is a job, though. Something happened, I think it was my freshman year of college. So we're coming up on 2 years, and it's 1:00 in the morning. And I'm like, why is she calling me? And so I'm immediately, okay, something is happening, because she shouldn't be calling me in the middle of the night. And so I had to pick up the phone and help her with whatever. And I love to do that, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, that job is never not necessary. That job is never all the time. If there was a 25/8 in existence,
absolutely.
And I think that's big sisters, big brothers, if you have little sisters, little brothers, whichever way it goes, when you are that older or oldest one, that job just kind of never ends. But it is probably my most fulfilling title.
Well, I will say I appreciate how you two have grown and gotten to be where you are. I mean, I think families suffer when siblings don't get along, when siblings don't like each other, because if that breach continues over a period of time, years become decades, that's going to come back. Listen, grandparents die, parents die, And when you have families that don't get along coming back for events like that, then those old hurts and those old wounds and the causes of that breach, they do resurface. And if they don't resurface, that means the family hasn't really come together for that event. So I'm pleased to know, at least in this stage of your lives, you two are such good friends that you will be able to face whatever situations and circumstances come up in your lives. You two are rooting for each other. You are supporting each other. You are encouraging each other. You are cheering for each other. And so if all else fails, I think each of you understands your parents have your back and your sister has your back. And that I'm hopeful that is a safety net and a source of comfort that you will carry with you throughout your years. And if you don't have that, if a family doesn't have that, then that's one less strand of love and support that family doesn't have. And eventually, as I said, that's going to surface when you need it most. You won't have it, and that was something I didn't want for my children.
Can I ask you something? As far as our sisterhood goes, or sistership, are there things that you kind of would want to see in our siblingship that you have in yours, or are there things that we're doing that you may have missed out on that you would like to experience?
I don't know, only because I don't have any brothers, and so the relationship I have with my older sister is obviously different than the one I have with my younger sister. Excuse me, my older sister is 2 years older, 2 years and some change. My younger sister is 7 years and some change younger than I am. So our dynamics are different. With my older sister Marcleta, again, she was the person I was always chasing. She was the one who was setting the standard, setting the bar for me. And so I knew what I needed to do. Kind of going back to what Kanaya was saying, there was really no one that she didn't have a role model. She didn't have someone setting that example for her. And that was also a reason, Kanaya, why I wanted you to talk with your aunt and get her perspective of being the firstborn, because she lived it. I want you to talk to cousin Tori, because she's the firstborn of 2 girls. She's lived it, so they can speak from experience what I can only speak from theory. But to your question, Kiani, I could only be so close to my sister because we weren't the same gender. So I don't know what it's like to be a young lady. I don't know what it's like to have a younger sibling who is a male. I can't speak to that. I can only look at her as an older sibling and look at some of the accomplishments she did and say I can do those things, but there was always a line of demarcation that separated us. Whereas with the two of you, you guys are going to experience much the same things. So from the obvious, when it comes to starting your menstrual cycles and growing into your bodies, I didn't have that with my older sibling. So I'm grateful that you all have the kind of cohesion and chemistry that you have, because almost everything you go through, your sister has gone through it, and she's willing to share with you her experience, as she said, so you can make fewer mistakes, so you won't make the same mistakes. But I also like how you understand when you find yourself in a situation maybe she hasn't been in, you can still go to her and maybe she can impart some wisdom based on her own experience, maybe in a different circumstance. But I like the fact you feel comfortable going to her, even if you may not feel comfortable coming to me or your mom. So I wouldn't improve anything on your sisterhood and on your friendship. The one thing I wish your mother and I had done was had you sooner. I would have liked you all to have been maybe 2 years apart. Because again, I think had you all been in high school at the same time, that would add another dimension of depth to your relationship, to your friendship. But I appreciate what Kanaya has done in initiating that friendship between you. I told her this story, but I remember when she left you a card. When she moved to college, she left you a card. I want to know what's in that card so much. And I don't expect you to tell me, but just for her to do that and leave whatever words of wisdom she imparted, that confirmed to me she got it. She understood what her place is in your life, and I'm hopeful and I'm confident you read it, you embraced it, and it just further propelled you guys into a deeper friendship.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, you going to college to this day is still such a surreal experience because all I've ever known is my sister.
And I'm almost done.
Literally, like I guess it doesn't really click that you don't live here. I don't think it's gonna until you're out of school, because then you really won't have a reason to be at home because now you'll be out on your own.
At my home.
Exactly. But the car was just I remember getting home and walking in your room and crying because I was like, man, you really don't live here anymore. And walking downstairs, like, my sister's gone. And then walking upstairs and finding the car, I cried so hard reading that car. And it just really solidified how deep our sisterhood runs. Because, like, not to like spew out the words of the car, but it was just like summing up just how, like, even though we were like, what, 800, 900 miles apart, you were literally just a phone call away. And so like everything that I experienced that like I literally found myself like I don't know what to do. I know that my sister isn't in a place where she's just gonna be like, well, let's go. So like I need you to like go, not be at school with me. I can still call you and like I can rely on you in ways that like even though I can't rely on you physically, I know that your voice and the wisdom that you have is still going to be a guiding light and a guiding voice.
I think that being a big sister, like I said, it's a job, it's a responsibility, but I think that it's so helpful in life to be like, I always have a person in my corner on my team. Most people probably will tell you I'm like my dad. I'm like, yeah, I'm, just kind of there, especially when things are going on. I'm just kind of observing. But people know messing with Kiani is, yeah, you're gonna feel that fire. That hot fire. Okay. So I always wanted you to know that that's not going to change no matter how far away I am. Of course, not being there, I can't come and pick you up or whatever unless I'm at home. But I mean, if you're calling me at 2:00 in the morning, that means something is going on. And I think that we have had an in-depth relationship enough for me to know that like you're not calling me at 3 a.m. So there are certain things that I know this don't seem quite like this should be happening. I remember I was in high school. I think something was going on at your school, and I'm like, why is she calling me? And it's 2:30. Like I'm in 8th period, and sure enough, something was going on, and she couldn't get in touch with my mom because she was at work handling some other business, and I knew she should not be calling me. So I had to go out. I texted her back, like, what's up, whatever. She's like, I can't find mom, blah, 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 whatever. So I tried to tell her what I thought best to do in that situation because I couldn't just leave because I don't think I was driving. Was I driving at the time? I might have been, but I don't think I had my own car yet.
Yeah.
I can't leave. So this is the best advice that I have until we can get mom on the phone or whoever. But I think that just having somebody that's always in your corner, always supporting you is vital to this life. And I feel like I don't have a reason not to. So, we don't have any, issues that have separated us. Hopefully we never do. But I think
what I hope though, in that regard, Kanaya, I hope I have, and obviously I hope your mom has, instilled in both of you the necessity of addressing issues that may prompt difficult conversations.
Oh yeah.
If you have a beef with your sister or she with you, I hope you two love each other enough and value your relationship enough to talk about it. One of the things that crushes families is either a hesitancy or an apprehension or just a complete failure to have difficult conversations. And I know they're uncomfortable. I know we would rather not deal with certain issues, but the more you two talk about things you're going through, even if you have, again, some level of anger or beef with one another, by all means, you need to talk about those things so that they don't fester, so they don't last for weeks, months, and years, so they don't end up driving a wedge between you that you will have difficulty removing. I am hopeful as your father, you all will always have that sort of mindset toward each other, that nothing, no matter what you go through, nothing can penetrate the bond that you two have set with each other as sisters who are friends, or as friends who happen to be sisters.
Thank you, beloved, for sharing some of your time with us on this episode of the Girl Dadding Podcast. We hope to see you next time right here on the same YouTube channel. Until then, may the Lord God bless you real, real good.